welcome to the Zencleanz experience once again. We are here with Newbill today, and he's going to be sharing about his Zencleanz experience. We also have myself as host, Crystal Cavalier, Nick Shizano, and Matt Sinna. So, yeah, did you just want to get right into it and kind of share what you've experienced with Zencleanz?
Sure. I'll give you my perspective. I'll tell you a little bit about who I am, so you kind of get that. I am a practitioner, so I'm a functional and holistic wellness practitioner, nutritionist, healer, whatever you want to call it these days. We help people get well and become independently healthy, right? Like that's really the ultimate intent about what we do here. So we don't do treatments. Where I'm at, we only work on healing, and that's it. So I've been doing cleanses for a long time with my clients and for myself and my family for many years, and was really attracted to Zencleanz's unique convenience factors, because I'm in the business of transformation. So literally my biggest gift for my clients is finding a path that they can actually pull off. That's what I'm known for. It's all that matters in wellness, in my opinion. We can have all the modalities in the world, but if no one can do them, who cares? And to be honest, holistic and, traditional holistic mucoid plaque cleanses are not built for the faint at heart at all. And they're often extremely arduous, and most people never complete them, to be frank, because it's just too much time and it's too much effort. When you're mixing up all these cocktails and taking all the stuff all day, it's a job. It's a job. And so when I looked at the 1-day schedule of Zencleanz, and I went, this is 1 day with everything's prepackaged and already done for you that we would normally do for 10 to 14 days for a basic mucoid plaque cleanse. And you have to do more than one. You do. And by the time they make it halfway through one or even a whole one, no one wants to go do that again. They don't even want to move on to the parasitic cleanse after that. You know what I mean? So it's a shame that for so many years we didn't have any solutions for normal people. And what I mean by normal people are those who haven't crossed the bridge into our world in natural wellness. And my business was set up to do just that. It was to take the average and welcome them into our world and let them know you get to define how you come into this world, and you don't have to be any of the things in this world. You get to be you. Because so many people have this misconception about natural wellness that you've got to become some kind of hippie tree hugger person. And I have nothing against tree hugging people. I hug my trees quite regularly, but that doesn't mean you have to become a tree hugger or wear tie-dye shirts or smoke marijuana or whatever the false perception of wellness is on this side of the equation. You can come over here and be yourself. And so that's exactly what I help people do. My logo is not the average wellness logo out there. It's meant to attract a certain style of people, right? The masses. The people that are already looking for this are going to find Zencleanz. It's going to find them. They're going to find natural wellness because that's all in their vibration. I'm here to help find the people that have no idea we exist and that we are the absolute best option for their being, and help them transition into our world to become one of our members in this community around the world and to be a beacon of hope for other people. That is essentially what I am all about in terms of wellness transformations. It's not really about my client. It's about who my client can affect by them actually going through the transformation themselves and becoming a beacon of light for other people. That's my ultimate win. When that seed is planted and sprouted, then I have done my job. Until that point, we're still in germination phase. So for me, walking into this product line and seeing the intention behind the developers and the leaders of Zencleanz was more so important than anything else. In fact, I tend to do that a lot with almost any wellness product that I bring into my stable. I go to the top. I want to know what's going on in the company. I want the owner to come out. It's 2023. Owners should not be hiding anymore. If they're in natural wellness, they need to come to the forefront so that we can get access to their intent and their spirit to understand the groundwork of what they're trying to lay. And Daniel was everything, still is everything in that sense. So I had a lot of trust in him, really fast. You know, we spoke a couple of times and I said, I trust you. You know, I have trust for you. And I know that we're aligned, and I know that you have a big, big, beautiful mission for people that I would love to be a part of. Right. And so I said, okay, so let's go do it. Let's go do this cleanse. And so I started off with rainbow, and needless to say, I was embarrassed because I thought I had already done this work.
Right.
You know, I was
Yeah.
just going through it for the experience, but I was like, I thought I did this already. I saw this stuff come out of my body already, right? Through these other old school holistic approaches that are very push, harsh, force kind of ways of doing things with all the sweepers and the brooms and the constant things that we do on the other protocol, which I'm not against. I think there's a time and place for those things. But if there is a more fortuitous opportunity for people to get maximum gain with less stress, with less force, with smarter interaction with nature, then we're really winning here. And that's what I saw in the Zencleanz within myself. I enjoyed it. The whole 7 days was just like bliss for me. I've been fasting for so many years. I don't typically get a lot of detox symptoms whenever I do anything, just because I fast so much. And I've done long extended fasts for many years. So to see the level of filth coming out of my body that I thought was all good to go, you know, was a little embarrassing, but a celebration. You know, I was celebrating at the same time, going, thank God, you know, this is great. This obviously was meant for me to come into my life. And so now I can say without a doubt how effective it is for someone who does at least 1 to 2 mucoid plaque cleanses a year, the old way. Kind of interesting, if you will, right? So I knew we were onto something, and I've always been a strong promoter of enzymes. You know, from the very early days of me starting my career, I got heavily into minerals, and minerals lead you directly to enzymes. Like, they have this inter-exchange opportunity. And so I really kind of settled into that a long time ago, and I've been using enzymes with my clients for many years. But they aren't these enzymes. These enzymes are a lot different because they're nothing but food. And I think that's the most important factor of what Zencleanz brings to the table, is a whole food opportunity for healing a world that is genetically modified. We have a genetically modified species of humans running around rapidly, and they need to return home, but they got to do it with food. They're trying to do it with everything but food. And so it's just, we're never going to get there until we lay in long term to that understanding and accept the truth that this is the only way. Like, this is it. This is the foundation. This is it. So you either eat wholesome food or don't. But you can't get anything in the middle. All the stuff in the middle is going to kill you.
It drags me back into eating more of that stuff too, you know? So it's just a little bit is even unsustainable at a certain point.
You're so right. And I've been there. I felt that tug more than once, saying, come back here. I mean, I've been really focused this last 6 months on becoming 95% raw, raw food eater. And yeah, I had a little dip. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to be. I had a little dip last week. I made some food for the family. I got, man, it smells so good. I'm going to have some of these beans. And I could not tolerate those beans unless I added what, Matt?
Enzymes. Oh,
Mm.
my niacin product.
No, I couldn't tolerate really eating them unless I added one seasoning.
Oh, salt.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Salt, right? Not green salt, old school salt.
Oh yeah.
And then I went, wow, this tastes so good. And trust me, I had already seasoned these things. I just didn't put any salt in them. I
Yeah.
just wanted to see what it was like. I said, I'll let the family salt it. That's really easy to get into the food. You don't need time to salt the food, right?
Yeah.
And I tried to eat them without it. And I'm like, this really sucks. Because this is the only reason why we're probably eating cooked food as hard as we are is this freaking salt.
Right.
And so I'm just like, geez, we're so trapped and misinformed. But it's just an educational thing that we all think we each need to go through. So I did my cleanse. I went through it. I just found the schedule so easy and simple because I had something to compare it to, you know? So personally, when I recommend a Zencleanz to any clients of mine that are thinking the schedule's difficult, I send them the original holistic mucoid plaque protocol. That's extremely arduous. And I said, well, you could do this or you could do this. Okay. And it's not any less expensive, really. When you start pulling all the pieces together and include shipping and everything, it's about the same cost. But that's just in money. The cost in your energy is going to be much higher and your frustration levels are going to be much higher.
Right.
So I had a strong release. I was really invigorated by the liver portion of Rainbow. And I just became a mucoid plaque cleansing nut last year. So I had done it a couple of times, just kind of testing the waters. And I went, all right, I'm just going to go until nothing else comes out of my body. And then I just locked into juicing and just Zencleanz until nothing else came out. And then did a little bowel test, you know, with some prunes and whatnot, and got it all out. But you know, understanding the body and understanding that mucoid plaque cleansing isn't a one and done thing, I was extremely happy to have this maintenance kit to do this 1-day cleanse with from time to time to keep up with myself, right? Because at some point your body's you start eating cooked food again, you're going to start accelerating mucoid plaque buildup in your body. So I know I don't have to be perfect in my diet because I have a supporting tool set that's really convenient and worthy, right? Worthy to be in my body. Even if I wasn't cleansing, it'd be worthy to be in my body just for the benefits that it brings outside of the cleansing potential through the enzymes. So you just can't go wrong with that product line. And I think as a practitioner, we're always looking for products that we know that are an absolute match to humans, that we know there's an extremely high potential for them to have success and an extremely low to no potential for them to have any harm. And that's exactly where Zencleanz covers the gap. I went so hard heavy into this that over my Christmas break, over my December vacation, I came back, I retooled my business and decided that we will no longer work with any dirty clients. It is a requirement to cleanse when you work with us, when you start with us. That's where we start every client now. And if that's not what you want to do, we're not the right place for you to begin your wellness journey. I just became tired of working around cesspools and people to help them feel better, right? And I said, there's really only one way to get it right. So we might as well make sure they understand this is the realest potential. And it held the truest to my my MO, and that's creating independently healthy people. If we're all cleansing, fasting, eating properly, eating high raw diets, moving, and all the good things, then there's just nothing but high potential of healing for us to have. There's yeah.
So you're working with that level of client, but you specialize and always have in chronic fatigue patients,
Yes.
women over 40, and I believe also military, especially
Yeah.
with your military background.
Yeah.
So you're working with people who are in need, but who are willing to go for it with Zencleanz because they trust you. Like, we need to find out how you're making it happen for these people, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just willing to take a, to tell a story. I think when practitioners are willing to tell a story, that's what people are trying to live. They're trying to live that story, right? They don't, some of them don't even know that story exists. And so when you can explain it to them and help them walk over the bridge and just hold their hand to come across this bridge, there's nothing going to hurt you over here, right? Once you're over here and you look back across the bridge, you'll never want to cross it again. I promise you, because then you'll see who your captors were, right? You'll see them for what they truly were. And you will no longer want to align with that. You'll realize that they were suppressing you, keeping you captive, harming you, drugging you, etc., and that they never had any love for you. So it's just a transitional walk to bring someone over to where we land, where we all are, and we're all on different stones in this world of natural wellness and holistic wellness. We're all on different stones. We all have things that we tend to give more weight to than others, and it's all good. It's all good stuff, because it's all about opportunity, with people. And what I like about Zencleanz is you can customize it. So I've been doing it since day one, and it's just funny because people will take what I consider to be the easiest thing on earth to do and make it hard, real quick. And I'm like, why are you making this so hard? This is not that hard. Just drink that stuff. Just drink that stuff every hour and you're going to be all right, But that fear and the stuff from the other side of the bridge it's lurking in the back of their mind. It's still in their body. And that's part of the stuff that they have to cleanse. They have to cleanse that stuff, because
They worry about grapefruit juice, just a tiny bit of grapefruit juice. They hear it all the time. Don't mix medications with the grapefruit juice. And we even talked about why that's an issue. But
Yes.
Can you speak to that?
The grapefruit juice thing with these medicated people, and I'll tell you this for sure, Matt, it's not 100%. It's just not 100%. It doesn't work that way for most folks. There's other things at work to tell you, okay, so you're taking something that's going to keep you from drinking a natural, fresh squeezed fruit juice. Okay, then what are we doing? What are we really doing here? Why are we doing that if it's going to not allow us to do something that is wholesome and completely aligned with your carbon signature, right? We have to push those envelopes sometimes, right? So that we can show clients. I've shown plenty of clients who were medicated. I was like, why don't you try a tablespoon of grapefruit juice? Why don't you try a quarter of a cup?
Which is basically what's in Zencleanz. It's a small, it's
nothing.
One ingredient of many,
We get so caught, I was speaking earlier about how people, even like myself, right? I had a little bit to learn about soy in the product, right? I said, I just want to know, what is the form of soy, right? And he was like, it's whole soy. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. You know what I mean? If it's whole, then we have real food. You know what I'm saying? And it's fermented already. So we're good. We're in the right zone. Maltodextrin. What's the source of the maltodextrin? GMO versus whatever. Some people can see one ingredient and find a way to stop.
Right.
And it's because whatever's within them is looking for an opportunity to do just that. Versus finding, how do you find one thing? Let's just call it a percentage. So out of a 99% perfect solution, you found a 1% fault, and so you're not going to do that?
Right. Yeah, the benefits will definitely outweigh that little bit of whatever ingredient it is that you don't agree with.
Right. Whereas if you were to take a medication, there is a laundry list. That ratio is nowhere close. It's probably more of the opposite. There's a 99% chance you're going to have a lot of side effects, and a 1% chance you're going to feel any better from taking whatever medication that they put you on, outside of making the doctor feel better about what your numbers say, right? Because there's still plenty of people walking around that have good numbers and feel horrible and are dying. They're literally the walking dead. But their numbers are good, and they're proud. My numbers are good. My doctor says everything's good. I mean, I still feel like hot garbage, but my numbers are beautiful. But this is the stuff we have to break through. This is the programs we have to break through. The liver portion was so revealing for me. The level of depth of my livers, that I've studied liver plenty read all the books. Never thought I had that many layers left, you know? So I did the gut until nothing came out. I did the liver till nothing came out. I'm going to go do the liver again here next month. And then I'm going to go do the new cleanses that I haven't done yet. So I'm going to go do liver one more time, and then I'm going to do kidney after kidney. And I'm just going to push my kidney until I feel like it's really kind of got as much stuff out as it can get out. I'll go back and do a liver again, and then I'm going to go do the lymph and blood. I feel like anytime you're going into a new cleanse, you should go to liver. Go to liver first, kind of get it prepared, you know, push stuff out because it's going to make the whole system dirty anyway, as it's releasing all this crap. Then go do that, whatever cleanse you have set up for yourself, do that, and then go back one more time to the liver and that cycle, so that we're constantly keeping that blood, you know, in its best state possible, right? Keeping that highway flowing with as least amount of traffic in it as possible. So that's what I have planned coming up.
Have you done the lung one then?
What's that?
You've done the lung one then?
I have not done Inspire.
Oh.
No, I have not done Inspire. It's on the list to do for sure.
Oh yeah, just curious.
Yeah, I haven't done Inspire yet. It's not something that I felt like I needed. I didn't feel the intent, right? But
You're
as
not a
soon as,
smoker either.
yeah, but kidney and lymph, I felt intent. As soon as he was like, these are released, I'm like, I gotta. It was I gotta. It wasn't I should. It was I gotta do those. So I've just been working through some things. I've had some other health things I've been working on. Like I've been wanting to build some muscle, so I've been working out. But I just took a break from my my personal trainer for a while to work more on my cleansing for about 90 days, you know, just to dig deep and do some deep work for myself. I'm still going to work out, just not the type of workouts I was doing with him.
I bet you're doing more fasting.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more fasting right now. Right now, I'm on a watermelon fast to transition into a bit of a dry fast for a while. So I'm going to do a couple weeks on watermelons, and then I'm going to go do some dry for a little bit and start warming up for my liver cleanse right after that. So it's just about getting into this lifestyle, right? If you've been dirty your whole life, cleansing needs to become your lifestyle for a long time. For the rest of your life.
Is it worth
really.
it, Ken? It's
What's
not
that?
just to me, right? It's totally worth it, right?
It's all worth it, man.
Yeah.
No, I think every time you get done, you're like, I need to do that again. Right? It's like, I need to do that again.
I can't wait for the next liver cleanse. I feel so good after a liver cleanse. It's like I'm on MDMA after a liver cleanse. I don't know what it is. The liver must secrete some sort of hormone when it's doing that. I don't know.
It cleans your whole body.
Yeah, it just removes it all.
The whole thing.
And
body experience.
Matt, we got to talk more on the lymphatic kidney drainage thing.
Well, I love that topic because I got this near-infrared sauna here, and I just figured out how to sweat twice as fast by combining the near-infrared sauna red light with methylene blue in very, very small portions, and I'm sweating double as fast.
Beautiful.
So sediment. I'm just scratching off dead skin, but it's not dead skin. It's dead skin mixed with lymph. Of course it is, because it's really not humanly possible to shed that much. It's just stuck lymph.
The black stuff that comes off your skin, I guess, is uric
acid.
Uric acid, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like we have to change the conversation. It's like I'm thinking about changing my title officially in the public, so I don't have nutrition on my title any longer, because I don't think nutrition really works necessarily in the paradigm that it's taught. Right. And it, like, I don't care what nutrition school you go to, they're so rigid in their construct. Nutrition is such a top layer to what we really do and need to do for our health, that it's almost a shame, to be honest. It's almost a shame, and that we need a new school. We need a new school that talks about carbon and hydrogen and oxygen and acids and chemical reactions in your pan when you cook, and what that's going to, and so that's that cooking that you did and how that's going to be recooked again inside, right? And what are all the off gases and all the additional acids that come, and it's just a big old
Oxidative.
It's just a big old mucus meal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we really have a relearning to do for so many, right? But Zencleanz is a door, it's a pathway for a lot of people. And so since we centered on Zencleanz as the standard way to start working with Newbill Health in my company, it makes mineral balancing so much easier. It makes client compliance so much easier because people get so many great results. I work with Americans. Americans want to see things happen fast, right? They may not, and what I promise them is something is going to happen swiftly. However, your body gets to determine the pace long term. So to you, initially, things might seem like, wow, lots happening. But a year from now, a lot could still be happening. Okay, and the body's going to ebb and flow, right? Up and down. It's going to release what it can. The liver is ultimate intelligent. No one's releasing what they want to release from the liver. The liver is releasing what it wants to release from itself with its infinite intelligence. I don't care what stimulant or whatever you're using to motivate that liver.
Oh yeah.
It gets decide. It gets.
Oh wow. Yeah, sure.
Same thing like when people have cemented gallbladders and they're really depressed that they don't get gallstones out right away and they think they failed. And I'm like, no, you just started to soften the target, right? You just began to soften the target. If you don't see any stones, you have them. Trust, they're in there. So
Ken, it took me 6 months to get any stones out, and it was just very small stones with 6 months of coffee enemas. And I got some massive stones out with Zencleanz, and I never got any gallstones out any other way. Did you get gallstones out successfully prior to Zencleanz? And if so, how hard was that to do?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, literally.
I never had. I've done plenty of liver cleanses and never had any gallstones.
It's just you can't dilate the specific duct that's needed without the enzymes that target that, and it works. It's amazing.
Yeah.
How can you tell the difference between liver and gall?
Oh, they're neon
colors.
green.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're
colors.
huge too. Oh,
Gall
I got a
is neon
video.
green.
No, liver's neon green, right?
Yeah, liver's the green. I had the little green bluish liver stones coming out more so than I had gallstones.
Aren't the gallstones green too, or am I just going?
Well, no, there's green gallstones, but they tend to show up differently because the ones from the gallstone always tend to show up wrapped in some layers of fat, whereas the liver ones don't. They seem to be, at least from my experience and some of my clients, when I see the liver stones, they got this greenish, bluish, kind of stripish look to them sometimes, and they're not big, they're little, but they're very present and very clear. And I go, oh, those are the liver stones coming out. And the more I tend to see, the more that people don't have a gallbladder, because half of my clients don't have gallbladders now.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
What happens? What happens? Do the liver stones get worse because it takes up the slack from? Oh my God! Wow, all that fat in the liver, not digested by the bile.
Because I don't have any way to prove that the liver is still making up for the fact that the reservoir of bile is not there. Right? I don't have the math to understand that when the liver detects what you're eating, that when the liver detects what you're eating, it's already starting to build up all the bile and everything that you're going to need, right? And I'm a firm believer that the intelligence of the liver is very big. It just knows you. So it's like, I know you're going to have pizza on Friday night, so it starts preparing on Thursday, right? So it knows your patterns. So
that's not parasites talking only. It's like half parasites talking though. I'm glad we got it all mapped out now, Stu.
Right? It's about as clear as mud.
Yeah.
but just knowing that we all have these different issues that we have to work through, but to have a system, right, is the most beautiful thing to offer anybody.
Yeah, you could talk about it all day.
Here's a system. Yeah, this is a system that anybody can do. Seriously, you just need to do it and walk through it and be gentle with yourself and don't feel like a failure because you didn't have a gallstone come out. You still did something very good for your system. But we tend to get so focused on the outcome instead of the work, and I'm like, just keep doing the work and it will come. You're not, I don't know. Sometimes I have to tell my clients they're not that special, right? Like, you're just not as special as you think you are. We're all humans and we have these same problems because we all grew up here. We're all eating the same crap. We're all working from the same food supply chain. We all grew up with the same commercials and got addicted to all the same things. We sat down and ate the same sugary, crappy cereal and on and on. We drank the same acidic, wasted so-called dairy in the grocery store. And it just doesn't end, right? So we're all on the same stuff here. We're all on the same dope. So if we're on the same dope, we're all getting the same kind of high and we all got the same kind of problems. And our systems are broken and we've got to go in and do the foundational work before you get special in your approach, because what you think is special is likely just trash in your body. We've got blocked pathways. We've got, unnurtured neuron receptors. We've got blocked cellular receptor sites that, nutrients can't get in the cells and whatnot.
People don't know how constipated we are on every level.
Well, I always say America's constipated,
Mhm.
right? America is constipated. Is the number one ailment of the United States is constipation, period, point blank. That's what's got us sick. And most people have no clue they're even constipated because they've been that way their whole life. So
It's not never on a death certificate.
It's just like normal, right?
Yeah.
I think it was, I had, in fact, I just spoke with her about 2 weeks ago. She just called to check in with me, but I worked with her about 3 years ago. One of my first senior clients. And she was on this regimen of not pooping for 10 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Always. Like that was, she goes, I've been this way like kind of forever. And then at the 10th day, I have to stay home. I go, and what do you do when you stay home? She goes, I just take laxatives all day until I go.
Oh, so she can't even go unless she takes laxatives.
That's how it was. Yeah. And I said, so when we talked, I said, so do you think you're constipated? She was like, I don't think so. I was like, whoa. And to get that from a senior citizen, she was like 64 years old, right? So I was like, okay, I'm 50. So I'm like, all right, she's been on this playing field longer than me. And she's a woman, and women are way more in tune with their wellness than most men. So I was like, okay, well, let's teach you what constipation really means. And then once we discussed it, she realized she didn't have to be diabetic anymore. She didn't have to have restless nights forever. She could stop being an insomniac and so on and so forth. I think you guys get the point. And so we maneuvered her elderly body through these processes, got her cleaned up. And look, man, it's just a beautiful thing to know that wellness is not complicated. It's just not easy. It's not complicated, but it's just not easy. So we just have to be willing to recognize that there is an opportunity for us to rise within ourselves. It's an integrity thing, right? It's like, okay, so once you know, now you can do better, or at least try, right? Because I've had plenty of people start Zencleanz and tell me they don't believe they have mucoid plaque or that it even exists. I said, it's okay because you don't have to believe in mucoid plaque. You just have to know what it is when it comes out, because it's coming out.
Don't they say the average person has 12 pounds of mucoid plaque? Yeah. And some people have 40 pounds.
Yeah. I had one of my most successful clients to date do my program from like, she did every, what I call bonus, right? So I'm like, okay, if you do a Zencleanz 1, that's great. If you do a Zencleanz 1 and you juice until nothing else comes out, that's amazing. If you add in follow a 30-day support pack of Zencleanz, while you do that, you're going to up level. If you add coffee enema and lemon enema to your regimen daily throughout that, now you're man, you're VIP, right?
Yeah, we
You're
even
like,
talk about the urine therapy enemas here. Yeah,
for sure. I'm like, you're
Yeah.
way up there. And she released easily 25 pounds
nice.
of mucoid plaque. She was releasing mucoid plaque when she was doing liver flushes back to back. Her body just wouldn't stop dumping the stuff, right? Because she really leaned into the whole thing. We have pictures of her toilet bowl just full of candida. We have pictures of rope worms coming out of her, right? Just, she said, there's no way I could be this dirty. Like, I was like, yeah, you can. I know it's sickening, right? To think.
Yeah.
But I said, but don't look at those entities as your enemies. Okay? They have a function. They're only here to help you. They're not here to hurt you. Okay? Well, they're not even here to help you, really. They're just here to eat.
Yes.
You're a great environment for them to eat. That's it. You have decaying flesh. That's why they're here. You have nasty feces that can't get out your body. So they're here. They're trying to facilitate some things to move and break up and get out. But you won't stop beating yourself to death with these bad foods and your poor choices and whatnot. So once she came face to face with those things, after 30 days, she had a very successful cleanse. Then she started doing turpentine.
Oh wow, good.
And then we went to a new level with turpentine. And I said, "What's that telling you?" She goes, "I'm nowhere near done." I said, "Exactly, you're not, and it's okay because you've only been at this for about 45 days."
And how long have you been eating unhealthy, right?
Exactly. And I said, "So you look at that ratio and the math is in your favor, is it not?" And she's like, "Well, you got me there. It's true." I said, "So if we did this exact thing for 10 years, you're 50, and we would still have a beautiful ratio if you did this for 10 years to clean up your body." And I said, "Because you do know that it does take some people that long to detox certain things out of their body." And she said, "No, I didn't know that." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "It's not permanent damage necessarily, but our body does a great job at suppressing things, but then we even add more suppressants when we go work with allopathic medicine. We just keep pushing this stuff deeper and deeper into our tissues. So it makes it harder to get at it.
Right.
So I've seen the tool, I look at Zencleanz as more than a tool set, right? It's definitely a partner. Zencleanz is a partner in your wellness because there's no other company that has the level of support that Zencleanz provides.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about being tied down for every client that I work with on their first portion of the cleanse. I'll throw them into the Telegram group,
Yep.
right? Throw them in there and let them see thousands of other people doing what they're doing and seeing the excrements that are, that they're being relieved of, so that you can recognize you're not weird. Nobody wants to be weird. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to be. I don't know. I'm okay with being the weird person in the room now. I just don't care.
Yeah.
To be honest, right?
Because your gut doesn't care anymore or something. I mean, I got a real gut feeling when it comes to being around people, and it's already helped me, and I got a lot more to go. Yeah.
I can dig it, man. It takes a
Yeah.
while to get there. I've been in this body for 50 years and different experiences, but I'm finally at a place where I don't care what my former military friends think of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, because they're all sick and broken just like I was. And they need me more than anything else, and they need help. So this whole paradigm of ego is what's got a lot of people trapped in their sickness. They just can't get over themselves enough to try something out of fear that they're going to make a mistake, or they're going to be weird for doing this, or they're going to be judged. It's just, the matrix is strong in its programming on individuals to not allow them to thrive. Seriously, they're being held back, and they don't even know why they're holding themselves back. It's very interesting to when you can hear and feel people in a different way that they can't even see and feel themselves. They can't even You're seeing things they can't even see. You're hearing words they didn't even know they said, right? And you're like, man, you're under control. Do you know that? You're under control here.
Hmm.
You said X, Y, and Z. I said that, yeah. And some strange words, right? Yeah, in relationship to how your health is and how you present yourself and how you approach wellness. And I don't know if that was you talking or your parasites talking. I don't know who's talking here, you know? I just brought on a guy today who was referred to me by some random guy on Facebook, which was cool. I think we don't know each other, but ended up signing up this guy today because he's got eczema problems, right? And in our call, I said, listen, you don't have eczema issues. He showed me he took his shirt off and showed me what he had going on. I said, where is your eczema showing up? He's like, let me show you. I think it'll be easier to show you. And so he showed me, and the man does not have eczema. He's got parasites. He's got big knotty boils and pus stuff happening on the outside of his skin. And I'm like, they told you that was eczema? And how many years have you been struggling with eczema? He goes, 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's not, bro. I said, you got a bunch of bugs in you, buddy. You're bugged. You're being bugged. You're a little bugged down right now.
Yeah.
And he was like, he goes, I said, do they itch a lot? He goes, yep. I said, there's probably certain times a day they itch more than others. He goes, yep. I said, there's probably even times during the month that they drive you insane. He goes, there's weeks like that. I said, yeah, check out the moon phase and see if you can correlate that. And that will be your internal confirmation about the bugs that are within. I said, but they're helping, but we got to go fix it all. So the best part was he's over halfway there because he had already dropped 55 pounds from getting off of processed foods.
Wow, that alone, huh?
Just that, and eating, he's eating nothing but, because you know the new carnivore thing now, Matt, is to add fruit, right?
No. That's not carnivore.
Yeah. So, I know, but now you got some of the biggest leaders in carnivore saying it's the meat. You got to do the meat with the fruit. And I'm like, you guys just won't stop screwing this up, will you?
They're screwing up everybody's metabolism with zero sugar.
You just won't stop.
Yeah.
And you know what? They got meat and fruit on the plate at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, just stop the cat, man. This is really poor.
Just stop it. That's hilarious.
It's a really poor way of going about things.
Wow, dude, that's news to me. Thank you for that.
Yeah, but it's one of the most popular carnivore guys on the internet doing that these days on social
I'm glad he's doing something. Because
I said at least you get some fruit in. There's going to be a little help, you know.
Yeah.
A little bit of help is better than none. But my goodness, we're having ribeyes and apples. I don't get it.
A little fun.
Talk about. I was just thinking, how good can that feel after you eat that? That can't feel any good.
No.
At least they agree it's ancient food, right? It's ancient food. It's obviously been just easy for everyone forever. Fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Ancestors, right?
So, I can't wait to do my next cleanses, and see what these new cleanses are about. You know.
Yeah.
It's I haven't done a lot of. I typically drink some every day. You know, take a shot every day. I rotate through all of them, all of the liquid ones.
How's the mycelia? I haven't tried it yet. I'm very excited to.
So mycelia isn't my favorite tasting one.
Okay.
However, you will find some level of shroomy experience.
Of course. It's too broad spectrum. It's too just perfect. Yeah.
Everybody will get a little lift.
Yeah.
Some people are, you know that though. Some people are really can be more sensitive to mycelium, or I think the mushrooms understand their potential with certain individuals better than others.
Ooh,
so
well said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So but
they're high and nice. I like that. They're high and nice.
I enjoyed the mycelia. I haven't not liked any of them. I like them all because I know what's happening. I know that it's all about consistency of delivery and keeping it high as you can. Because I'm trying to make up for 40 years of mismanagement of my body. Right? That takes time. I'm not done. I'm nowhere close to done. I know it. You know, I explain that to my clients. I'm like, I'm at a certain level, but I plan to be here past 120 years, so I got a lot of work to do, you know?
Yep.
And this world seems to be just becoming more and more toxic, so they're not making our jobs any easier. Even if we don't eat their food. And I don't know if you guys have heard about what they're doing to our food now with that appeal stuff.
Yeah.
What's the news?
That's it. I mean, they're doing organic foods with appeal. This is Bill Gates' new food coding.
So there's no plastic.
Yay.
Oh,
So they're just gonna put the plastic in the food.
got it.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, so we just eat the plastic now. We won't unwrap the plastic, just eat it.
Yeah. That's fine. Your body can deal with it.
Yeah, we've been eating plastic forever, man. This is what we're supposed to. We love petrol. So you know,
it's in all of the medicines. They're all petroleum based, or at least half. That's what I remember hearing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're all petroleum based. Why would they change?
The precedent is there for this. It's why it's so believable. And I'm sure you've literally seen the article. I've seen the article where Bill Gates is on tape saying he's trying to block out the sun.
For sure.
With it's emitted stuff publicly, but it's just not known about.
They have to do that karma talk, you know? They
Yeah.
gotta do it.
Yeah.
So and it's just amazing how people can't hear it.
Why can't they hear it? Why
Have you
can't
ever
they
been
hear
in the
it?
same room with
It's a
people
different
and listened to
frequency.
something and they were like, okay, so we're gonna go eat this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You didn't hear what he just said? And they just don't see it. And it's okay, because there was probably a time where I couldn't see it or hear it either. You know, we are on different frequencies based on how we treat this being.
Antenna.
Yeah.
For sure. You know, can you even tune in? Most of us can't. Most of our frequencies are really crossed and broken with all of the toxicities and metals and plastics and molds and yeast and whatnots occupying our residence. So
And not only do we we actually have a choice of what we want to eat, but then there's the air. We don't have a choice in what we're
No.
breathing.
no,
Or the frequency. Ripping the
all the
ether,
frequencies.
freaking
And
5G.
I understand frequency and radio theory extremely well, because that was my first job in the military. I was a signal guy, right?
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I studied radio theory, all the HF, low frequency, ultra low frequency, all the way up to, super, very extreme high frequency transmissions. And I worked around lots of antenna fields and satellites and did communications on every platform possible that you could do them on. And yeah, man, we know how this stuff works. We know that we can affect the mood of people with frequency. That's an old school military psyop. That's not new. That's old. They've been doing it us in the United States forever.
Yeah.
Forever. And they're just still doing it. They're just trying to figure out how they can do it better and more effectively. They're upgrading. We're going to upgrade you to 5G. Thanks. Thank you for the upgrade. I needed some more of that frequency trying to shake me up and mess with my cells,
I saw them put up the 5G towers while everybody was on lockdown in New York City. I saw them when the streets were empty with people outside, spreading whatever according to the narrative.
When did Canada start having forest fires that look just like the California fires, all in one perfectly good line?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and then they all started at the same time. There's this satellite GPS, and they all smoking up at the exact same moment.
Who was dropping bombs in Canada? That's what I want to know, because that's explosion stuff. That's set. That's not nature. Nature doesn't start fires.
I think we saw an example of a direct energy weapon when the Georgia Guidestones were taken down. The footage from it looks very much not like ballistics.
Oh yeah.
There's also there's no footage of anybody.
We've seen it in California fires too.
Yeah,
we've seen it in California fires as well. So
yeah, we speak energy around here. So,
and I think New York's the first smart city.
Oh yeah, I got out of there a year ago and a year and a half ago, and I got healthier for it. Oh yes, I did.
Yeah, they're going to be the first smart city. That's why they're getting the fire. This is all experiments. They're just testing out all the
The
stuff.
nanotech makes you more susceptible to the radiation because it turns you into a, heavy metal radiating crystal with that tunes into gross vibration. So they get us with that nano poison. Now a body that's unconstipated, relieved on a macro level, it can then have the energy to really clean on a micro level. It's going to be putting the glutathione to breaking down and converting toxic chemicals, and meanwhile, for most people, we're so busy just keeping our lymph from being highly toxic. Just with every precious step we get outside during the day, we're just barely struggling to keep homeostasis. I don't think we would heal from everything so much faster if we did Zencleanz.
Yeah.
Even the hardcore scary stuff, because there haven't is something that gets the average person to be compromised, but they can't get Zencleanz.
We can't ever remove ourselves from the fact that over 300,000 enzyme and coenzyme processes are happening all the time.
And those are all conversions. It's all conversions.
It's got to tweak and move and convert and make things, right? These are workhorses in our body.
Splitting, putting together.
And we don't have them. We don't have any. We're lacking them. And it's not just digestive, it's systemic and metabolic. We're not making them appropriately. And I can see that from a hair tissue mineral analysis with my clients right away. I go, yeah, you don't have the stuff here to make these enzymes. There's certain enzyme factors and lines right up with what you got going on with some of your imbalances, of course, but likely it's due to just malabsorption. Malabsorption and dehydration, not able to get nutrients into the cell. Then
you build up a force field. Then you just got this repellent. Your body knows what's good for it.
Yeah. So it just takes, I think what Zencleanz is doing for the world is creating a community, it's creating a worldwide community of, I don't know, I kind of call them the new walkers. We're just kind of the people that are taking new walks in this world in a different way from, we're walking back. So many of us are let's go to the woods, look at what you got behind your windows. So we're literally trying to get back to nature because that is the truth. That's the answer. That's the answer. People are like, well, what do I do? I'm like, well, do you have any trees where you live? No, you need to move where there's lots of trees. You got to go find trees. You got to go find fresh air. You can't keep doing the same thing. But most importantly, it's you can't keep the same priorities.
Right.
Because it's the priorities that got most people sick. My poor priorities absolutely pushed me over the edge. And, 13 years ago is when I had my heart attack and I was a morbidly obese man at 300 pounds. So I understand chasing this American nightmare that they sell to you as a dream, trying to nail that and killing yourself in the process. And that's what 90% of us are doing. We're living an extremely synthetic lifestyle, or what my wife would call, we're living that drive-through lifestyle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
The convenient lifestyle.
Always. And as I say, convenience kills. Just to keep it nice and simple. Convenience is a killer. And so for so many of us, we have so much unlearning and new learning to do that Zencleanz is one of the few places that people can get foundational truth about their body's operation and how to affect it in a positive manner, and how to adapt to a way of being. And it doesn't have to be weird, strange, and totally out of the norm, right? You don't have to right away start doing butthole baths, but you might want to at some point, just saying. But you don't got to start there, you know what I mean? So, and that's what I love about our community. There's all sorts of different people, in Zencleanz, different countries and different experience levels and different ages. And I'm often very impressed with younger people doing the type of work that they're doing in their 20s that I would never had the conscience to do in my 20s, right? I was running all over the world, jumping out of airplanes and drinking a lot of alcohol is what I was doing. So to see that is just very encouraging, and it lets me know that the change is coming, the change is here. And we just have to remain steadfast in our approach, keep moving in the proper light, right? Stay in our light and not go back to where we came from. Because plenty of people will go back. They won't stay here. And that's an unfortunate reality, but there'll be waves, and we'll continue to see the waves of people win, and some people will win and they'll still want to go back, right? They'll just appreciate the old ways better. I don't know why.
Right?
It's just simple. It's just so easy to be crappy, you know?
Yeah.
It's easy to stay sick and put your problems on a doctor or something, right? Put your problems someplace else. Park your problems with other people.
Yeah, they don't want to be responsible. That's what
Right.
it comes down to, I suppose.
Absolutely. So, you know, that was actually one of the things I asked my guy with the Parasite eczema. I was like, so how bad do you want to change your life? Because I see you admittedly said you still smoke and you still drink alcohol. He said, yep. And I said, they love you for that. Those parasites love you for that. Okay. And he was like, oh, I don't like the way that sounds. I'm like, but it doesn't matter how it sounds. What matters is, are you ready to face the real world? So because we might need to work you into the real world slowly, because you're not living in the real world. You are dosing every chance you get to escape the real world, even though you're doing better. He goes, I am better than I was 3 years ago. I only drink every other day. And I go, that's much better than drinking every day. 50% better, right? That's a huge move. I was like, but you still haven't fixed why you drink. And until you understand why you drink and why you smoke, you'll never understand how to get better. You'll never be able to see the path to healing as long as you are clouding your vision with these elements. And I said, if you agree that this is a major part of your life transformation, I will happily work with you. But if you intend to maintain your relationship with these vices, I cannot work with you. And it's not personal. It's just because I love you and I love myself too much to waste any of our time in that way. And so he had to have a real heart-to-heart with himself overnight, and then he signed up this morning. So the light wins again, and we're gonna keep on making moves, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just, you know, whoever's seeing this, I don't know how this is going to be used, but whoever's seeing this, you were meant to see this. You were meant to hear my throat chakra come to you, and you were meant to change. If you're watching this right now, you would not be here if there was no need for change in your life. And if these people that I'm connected with is how you got to see me, however that happened, it wasn't accidental. Okay, it was all purposeful, and you have a mission, because we all have a mission here. So if you've forgotten what your purpose is to be the best version of yourself, because you are the world. You don't need to keep looking in the world. You need to look at yourself, because you are the world. Okay, so go work on your world so that everybody can see what they should be like too, right? That's it, man. We don't have any more complexities than that, right? It's just settling into the reality of what we're here to do and to put the right priorities in the proper place. You know, Zencleanz is the cheapest product I've ever seen that does what it does. It's not expensive, dude. It's not. It's just not.
It's like an investment.
Do you know how much people pay? People pay people like me?
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands, right? I get referrals from doctors in Charlotte from sometimes these clients been working with these doctors for a year, forking out $15,000, $20,000 and got nowhere. And in 30 days with us, their whole life is changing. They're like, I didn't get this much change in a year. And I was on a box of nutraceuticals, not one or two, a box. I was on a box of nutraceuticals and nothing happened. I didn't lose any weight. My gut didn't get better. My brain fog didn't get better. My sleep didn't get better. My hormones didn't get better. But in 30 to 60 days, just working through foundational human rebuilding, and all of a sudden you're sleeping better and the inflammation's going down in your body and you have a better outlook on life and you're happier and you're seeing the potential of what's possible for yourself for the first time in maybe your lifetime. That's a gift that's worth so much more than a $700 kit. To be frank, it's worth so much more than $700. And when I went through what I went through on my first cleanse, I said, because then they hadn't raised the prices yet. It was like $200 for a Zencleanz 1, right? So I was like, dude, I don't know how they're doing this. I don't know how they can keep this product going at this price point, because it's beautiful, it's well made. It takes 3 years to make this product, at least 3 years. So I think they're still gifting this to the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's still a gift. Like, you're just literally paying for someone's labor, I think. Like, I think that's it. You're surely not paying for the food that's in those bottles. You're just paying for just the work and the manufacturing and the labeling, because that's work that cost just alone. The presentation, how everything is done and organized, in Zencleanz, it only gets better. And most of us got to see it start and understand where it is today, from 2 years ago, which is a really big difference. And how Zencleanz is orchestrated and how it's ran and how the affiliateship has changed, to really give people an opportunity to be part of this family. Come on in, become part of a community of weirdos so that you can go get everything that you need and have a good place to lean on. I like being in weirdos. When I started dedicating myself to Raw, I joined a Raw group. You know what I mean? I said, I'm decent. I got good mindset and willpower, but it is nice to see some other people from time to time going, hey, man, this isn't that easy. Right? I screwed up today. Here's what I did today, but we're going to move on, right? We're going to try to work it out again tomorrow. So it's about taking these steps. Finding connection is probably the biggest part to healing than anything else. And having good people with experience who can share their knowledge, can share their experience, can share their love and gratitude for what has been built and what we're all still building, is very, very cool stuff. It's very important that we continue to do everything that we're doing in Zencleanz, to truly get it into every practitioner. I want it in every practitioner's hands, right? The ones that actually are in the business of healing people and not treating people.
Right.
Let's help people heal. Zencleanz is one of those systems that gives people way more than what they bargained for, which is always a good thing. I've never had anybody tell me that wasn't worth it, ever. I don't know about you, but everyone that I've worked with has been like, dude, this is wild. I couldn't believe it. Some people cry, just trying to express what they're feeling, going through relief and release, and escape from things that have been holding them back, that they never knew were residing within them, that are holding them back for so long, and they finally can catch air and fly. So it's a worthy work, is what I call it. It's worthy work.
You really threw yourself into it. When you started it, you tooled your practice pretty swiftly. You took your time, very carefully.
I don't have any time to waste, bro.
Yeah, I saw it happen. I mean, I was so impressed.
It's always today. And so what I love about making moves like that is this: if it was a mistake, I can change it. But it wasn't, because all we do is win.
Yeah.
All we do is win. Every client wins and that's what I promised them. I said, if you come here and you follow my path that I'm going to dictate for you for 30 days, you will only win. And then when we get to the next month, it will be time to talk about how do we go deeper and how are you different from your first day by that time, so that we can reevaluate what the next steps are. And everybody that tends to go through that 30-day initiative that we do is so enamored about what their bodies are capable of by that point, they know they can do anything. And some of them are really afraid.
Empowering.
Some people get empowered and some people are afraid of power.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
because power displaces excuses.
Ooh.
Mm.
Ha!
So if you find out you have power and you, oh boy, now I know I have this power and I know that I have this capability and it's all on these right here.
Mhm.
And some people have never had that in their life to know
You are
that,
now responsible.
yeah, it's you. You got this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Do you know, I'll share this guy with you guys. I've had a client that decided to go be sick again. Nothing to do with Zencleanz, but it was the first time this had ever happened. And I knew what it was and I coached them, and they had been disabled for over 20 years. And by us working together, I undisabled them within 6 months. And all of that power kept coming, right? Every layer of power was being released and being released and being released. And then we got to this one point and I'm like, you don't really need me anymore. It's okay to want me, but you don't need me anymore. And here are the reasons why. And that person told me, if my program is coming to a close, I am likely going to divert back to where I was. And I was like, well, why would you do that? They're like, and I didn't think they were going to tell me. But what she ended up telling me was, I'm afraid that I'm going to have to start doing things that I haven't had to do for 20 something years.
Mm.
She didn't want to take the responsibility. So many people are running from their responsibility. And that's something none of us can change.
We all deserve a support system, right, Ken?
We
But
do need
we
support.
don't need a paid therapist for a support system in the long haul.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
And I'm not a therapist, you know?
You're something.
I connect
Coach.
people to therapists all the time.
Yeah, right.
I'm a confidant, I'm a friend, I'm a healer, I'm a lot of things. But I never pretend to be a therapist because that's dangerous territory.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need some good skill because most therapists suck, to be honest. So if they can't do it that great, I know I ain't gonna do it that great. I've never been to school to be a therapist, but it's responsibility. Zencleanz will empower enough people that if they can just meet it and greet it. And let me ask you guys this question. How many people have you ever seen purchase a Zencleanz kit and not use it for a period of time, like quite a bit of time?
I got one person. I'm not sure they have yet. It's been time.
Yeah.
None that I know of.
Yeah, it happens.
And it happens for a long period. My one example, it was a long period. They still haven't done it yet. Been about 3/4 of a year.
We have to remember that those boxes are tuned. Those Zencleanz boxes are tuned. Those ingredients are tuned. Their frequency, and certain people, it pushes them away on delivery.
You know, I want to admit something. I saw a kinesiology test, and it's a muscle test. You know, I want to verify all muscle tests in more ways than just the muscle test, which sometimes I can. So here's a possible one. I was told that Zencleanz rates somewhat lower than other really high quality products because of the detox symptoms. That was the assessment. And you know, the question for the rating was highest interest of all of humanity. And I think it can pick up that it's just not going to find the timeline for all of humanity. And, you know, muscle testing goes that deep, and you got to ask it that kind of deep questions because it's just tapped into the truth via the body. So it could have very well been a reading that was including those factors. And you know, in general, the reading was great. They found out exactly what quote brought it down, and it's still on the incredible healing spectrum. But yeah, I just thought that was an interesting story.
The good old detox symptoms make products bad now.
No, see, that doesn't make sense. It's literally like it won't align with the vast majority of humanity's timeline because of this energy thing, man. I couldn't I found a better context to bring it up because it does sound negative, but it really relates to what we were just talking about, which is
I totally get it.
The proximity of the box is doing something.
And it does.
Yes.
I literally reached out to a lady. She wasn't my client, but she asked me for this tool set. And so I reached out to her and I was like, did you get your clients? She goes, oh, I got that a couple months ago. I said, well, how did it go? Like, you haven't called me or checked in or anything. I just wanted to help you through it if you needed a little support or guidance. She's like, no, I don't think I need any help. I said, wait a minute. Did you do this cleanse? Because you know it's going to be a big something, right?
Yeah,
if anybody does it, they're not going to be quiet about it.
You can't prevent it.
You can't shut up about that. I said, so did you do this cleanse? She was like, no, because we were just chatting. And then she goes, I'm going to send you a voice text. And so she sends me this voice text and she's basically crying in the voice text. And she goes, I don't know what it is, but my body is completely resistant to even opening the box.
Wow.
She's not the only client or person I've met that's done this. And I said, listen, are you going to keep letting other entities control you or not? Are you ready to be you, or are you going to keep being something else that something else wants you to be?
It's that deep. You got to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to just take it off and go, right? Rip the Band-Aid sometimes. You know, because that's kind of like, I always like to see people walk into cleanses gently by adjusting their diet first over at least a month or a month and a half, just so they don't have as many detox symptoms, so they don't quit, right? But then there's other clients like that one that I was like, you need to jump in because you have no control. You can't control what you eat, so you can't go logically down a path of releasing certain foods with whole food transitional eating, just like Eckhart would promote. So yeah, some people just have to jump because jumping in could solve all of your resistance because you're taking some kind of action to bring your power back. So just jump in. It's literally one freaking day, people. One day. Right. You can't afford a day. And we're not talking 24 hours, we're talking a day. The real day.
Afternoon.
Yeah, the real day, not the night, just the day. Yeah.
And how long did those other painful mucoid plaque cleanses take?
Well, they take between 10 to 14 days.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, 10 to 14 days.
I'm honest, I never did, but I have a contact, Ken Newbill, who did. And I trust him. I don't need to suffer through it.
No, same thing with Epsom salt liver cleanses. Oh
no.
When I did the Zencleanz liver portion, I went, oh my God, this is so much better.
Yeah, I did the master cleanse, and that's really just you did the cayenne pepper, the maple syrup, and the lemon, and the olive oil. So it was an olive oil push without the salt. It was kind of half of it. And I don't think I'm salt sensitive now. I can't handle like 2 cups, whatever the heck of all this salt.
No, I don't think I could either at this point. No. But it burned so bad.
Oh.
I forgot why I stopped doing these. This burns the buttocks, right? I said, you feel like you're gonna need some tucks after about day 2. And I said, yeah, we don't ever have. I went and did this liver cleanse, old school, to show the difference. So I had done Zencleanz 1, and I said, see how this works, see the results. I said, I'm going to give my body a couple of weeks, and then I'm going to do a traditional week-long liver cleanse.
Yeah.
To show you why you absolutely don't want to go this route if you don't have to, man. Like, this is not.
Ken does live. Ken does lives almost every day. It seems to me. He documents everything, puts his butt on the line. I love it. So what happened? I mean, you kind of already told us what happened. Yeah.
No, so I show them this, and I'm like, I did it with my wife. And so she gave her testimony and she was like, look, I don't know who's watching this. She goes, but I hate drinking. She goes, I am his toughest client. So if you're like a regular person, she goes, I'm a regular person. He's the weirdo in the house. I'm a regular person. He manages us to keep us healthy. But I will never do another traditional liver cleanse. She goes, I will never do it. She goes, I will save up every penny and scrape every penny I can to do a Zencleanz one, forgive before I ever walk into drinking Epsom salt in my life ever again. You know,
It's nauseating.
it is horrible. I said, the first drink, I said, this is why I stopped doing this. But I promised my group I would do it. So I'm like, I gotta do it now.
So I literally haven't. So it burns, of course. Is that just on the way out? Now it must be when it goes down too.
For some people, it burns all the way through, depending on their level of sensitivity, right? So they could feel burning right in the stomach or in the small intestine. If they've got inflammation open, it doesn't exactly soothe. You know what I mean? Cayenne pepper's better going through the body than that stuff. But I just overall think it's just another one of those things that are it takes too much strength and resolve to move through those types of modalities for the average human today.
I literally just had to say it kind of clearly one more time, 1 day versus 14 days.
Amen.
Pain, no pain.
Thank you. Thank you. Less pain, less struggle, less fear, because you're going to get scared on those old cleanses. There's a lot going on.
You know, people say it can cause a neurological event. Let's say you're really toxic and you start pushing like that without the enzymatic support. Is it true?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't screw around with that.
Because pathways matter. Open pathways matter, and enzymatic action matters, man. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's like a responsibility thing at this point, man.
Absolutely. It's why I want my clients to walk into the cleanse. I don't want you to jump in necessarily unless you gotta, right, to get some momentum, or nothing's going to change. But I'd prefer to see people walk so they're gentle on opening up pathways that have been closed most of their life, right?
Well, you walk and talk yourself, so you set a good example, brother. Yep, you showed the long term, but you know, I've seen the results you've gotten over the course of, you know, hardcore use, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
I don't catch all your
both.
Yeah.
It's good. And I was just recognizing, I know I'm not done. There was something I thought was finished, and so I kind of got out of the modality, and now I got to go back in. So I had this toe fungus thing I thought I had nailed, literally, on my toenail. And I've had it ever since I was in the military. So over 30 years.
You've just done so much so quickly. I'm jealous of your progress. And yes.
So now I have to go back and work on this fungal thing.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, Jesus, it's back. My nail is starting to turn yellow again.
Oh, do a urine soak. Do a urine soak. You know,
yes, right. That's a great idea.
Yeah, sort of like an energetic effect on it.
Well, while we're on, so can we talk about urine a little bit since you're here?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Are you guys ETs?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm not I do it not often enough. I've gone through phases where I'll do them for like a month or 2 months, and then I kind of get out of it. But I want to understand from whatever you want to share, right? Aged urine. So I've got plenty. I've got about 3 gallons of aged urine, probably over 8 months old. And I don't know what to do with it or how I should take it. And it kind of scares me because it's so strong.
Yeah, it is.
I have the best way. Are you asking?
Yeah, I'm asking. I'm serious. I'm not a UT expert.
So I've been using aged urine for maybe since 2017. And I've had like 70 gallons saved at one point. Right now I have 12 gallons or so. Anyways.
You have stock.
Yeah, a lot. So I put it on the garden. I grow giant cannabis plants with it, just urine, just aged urine, nothing else.
That's amazing.
Nicholas,
it's kind of like seawater.
Nicholas, look at this. Do you see these goosebumps you just gave me?
Yeah.
Look, you just gave me real goosebumps because I'm an avid gardener, and I have been intuitively this year peeing all over my greenhouse and everything.
Yeah.
like
then it
just giving it
transfers
all
away.
this natural fertilizer, and I think it's a way of looping.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
They're taking my nutrients in.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
and it has
Energy's
the
like-
perfect nitrogen, potassium to NPK
yeah,
and whatever the other one is.
Rudolf Steiner even said that, but you got to dilute it, right? Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. If it's real old, like pH 12, you probably want to dilute it.
woo.
But
I've never
anyways,
given,
yes.
should I test my pH for my urine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll
tell
tell you how
up to,
much
like,
aged I can use in an enema. I mean, literally about, 5 to 10 tablespoons at most.
No wonder I couldn't hold it.
Well, yeah. I mean, mine's like
Yeah.
probably that I would use that amount.
Dude,
Like
I
can
couldn't
just-
hold it for like, I think I did half a can of aged and then
Yeah.
added water. It was so strong.
It's very
All I
strong.
All I did was get up and run every time I put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of taking a small amount and leaving it in there, because then it'll really just help you have a really amazing bowel movement without a lot of liquid. Actually, it'll all be kind of all on its own, which is really cool.
Really?
Yep, like a suppository.
Yeah.
so
Okay,
it
okay.
It can
Good
go
idea.
to pH like 13.5, I've seen, and then with the negative voltage,
Yeah.
the negative ionic charge,
It's got a
It-
strong charge. Yes.
yeah, it comes out
Whoa.
negative 120 millivolts, and if you
Yep.
let it sit for, I don't know, a few months, it can go to negative 800 millivolts. So it's almost negative 1,000 millivolts, which would be negative 1 volt, which
I
is a
put my-
ton. It's
Put
it's
my
way
feet
more
in
than the
black
Kangen
urine.
machine.
I put my feet in black urine, and it was an electric, fixing of my meridians throughout my entire body instantly. Yes, incredible.
No, I've got to go deeper on this part of my journey.
But anyway, the pinnacle of my comment is to the best way out of all these ways that I've tried is putting it on my skin in the sun.
Yeah.
Because it's direct. It goes right into those ghost
Lymphatic
veins, into those veins, right into the tissues, cartilage, lymph.
Right
It
in there.
opens up into your bones.
Gone.
360-degree encapsulation of this golden. It's for your aura. Urine is the word aura because it has
Amazing
gold
on
in
your
it.
skin. Or sorry, on your hair as I touch my hair. It's
Yeah.
amazing on your hair. The hair
Because your
loves it. The hair curls up and it gets darker. It's amazing.
Let me ask you this: does the smell stay in the hair, or does it dissipate? after a
More so
while?
on the hair than on the body, because the
Yeah,
body
you should
sucks
take
it
a
up so
shower
fast.
every night. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna start with the skin. I'm gonna start doing skin.
Yeah, I've watched it transform my body more than anything. This whole last year, I was working out quite a bit, and I was noticing, improvements in my body. I was paying very close attention. I quit working out when we moved here for whatever reason. I don't know. It was just a big move, and I just didn't. But I've been only doing the urine, and my muscles are becoming more and more defined than ever.
Whoa.
Because
You're
because
getting-
I think there's creatine in your urine. There's human growth hormone, and there's all these hormones and just testosterone,
Stem cells.
stem cells.
It's gotta
So
be
if you let
loaded
your
with amino acids. It's gotta be.
amino acids, yep, and they're all nano and structured and negatively charged. So they're super hyper bioavailable, and they're going directly into the muscle.
Oh man, I'm gonna be smelling like pee.
It's fun though. It's worth it.
Fresh in the
Take a
sun
shower.
But you know
too.
what? This is the
Fresh in
best
the
time
sun
for me
works
to.
too.
So is this what do you use aged or fresh?
Well,
Yeah.
next to an
Yeah.
aged on the skin. It's pretty.
Aged on the skin.
Yeah.
Do you aged internally or do you do fresh
Fresh.
internally?
Fresh internally for me.
Okay.
He takes shots of age.
Yeah, so every day I
Hardcore, man.
I swish with aged, I take a drink of aged, I do an enema with aged, and then I coat my whole body with aged.
Yeah, I hope I can hang out to see you. You're probably gonna be like 8,000 years old.
That's
I'm
the
thinking
goal.
so, yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Are you all raw too, Nicholas?
No, I was just putting that together. How raw am I?
95% wheat quinoa.
Okay.
It's basically,
Yeah, and like soup.
yeah, like we'll
I
do,
think
like,
soup's my
roasted
my
vegetables.
big thing, man. I like to just have broth that I,
Mhm.
get nice and flavorful and just
Yeah.
steep my vegetables in it.
Yeah.
Zencleanz
Wow.
gives us a really good internal dampness, internal awareness system. And yeah, the warm food makes such a difference for that, doesn't it?
I
Yeah.
I personally don't think we should be 100% raw. I think
I
you
don't
gotta
think so
have
either.
some yin yang there.
Mm.
Like this time of year, I'm pretty raw because I can eat most of the stuff out of my garden. It's warm. And I'm just, like I said, it was so easy to start this watermelon feast
Nice.
for me. So I'm ready to store some of that urine.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds like some
That's
yeah,
what I
this-
wanted to say at first. Your diet, especially right now, that's all
Yeah.
you really want to
Yeah.
get super motivated to drink.
yes, this is a
Yeah,
perfect time. So
it
I'm
really
gonna
is.
start. I'm gonna start looping and.
Zencleanz urine is the most amazing thing. We've all agreed on this before. It's amazing.
Yeah, also
Immediately.
in the urine,
Immediately. Oh God.
in the urine is all 12 Schussler tissue salts, which if you burn the human body, the cremated remains are 12 tissue salts. That's our foundation. And
That's
Yeah,
why
those
they
are
still
in
have
the
an
urine.
urine.
energetic
Salts.
resonance, you know,
It's all
even
salts.
as, yeah. Even as
So-
cremation where there's still like a crystalline, you know, essence there that can connect to energy fields, which makes ash boxes creepy.
So do you guys filter any of the lymphatic waste out? I mean, it's sterile. So do you feel like you need to filter it at all?
It kind of stays on the bottom.
I know, right? Like especially my old stuff. I just don't know. I know
Mhm.
some people say stir it up and drink it. I'm just a little. I don't.
No, I don't. You know, I actually had a piss tub for a little while that I soaked in, and I found that it pulled more toxins out of my body when I got rid of all the sediment and all the mucus in it by putting it through cheesecloth. in
Okay.
entirety. And it was
Yeah,
it
I think
returned the
metal
urine
sinks
to a
the
more
bottom too.
it's like an immune system. It's detoxing itself. It wants to be free of it. On the other hand, as I held up this, as you can see, I keep the layer of the sediment. All
Yes.
the sediment I leave in here. So this is my sediment collection jar.
Okay.
And so I'm building up sediment in here. And my theory is that the water structures and ages and evolves and gets darker faster when it's on top of sediment.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Whoa. So
Mhm.
it increases the electrical potential faster.
Yep.
You know, I think it does that, including other things. I would hedge a guess. Yes.
Yeah, because I've done a lot of testing with the ORP meter, oxidation
Mhm.
reduction potential. It shows a negative charge, and I could just put fresh urine in an old jar with all the crystals on it,
Mhm.
and it'll be way more a way lower voltage than regular fresh urine. So yeah, those little crystals are like they're like a little something special. Some people say that they're like monoatomic white gold.
Whoa. How interesting is that? That's pretty interesting.
I think they're trapping things that are positively
That's
charged.
that's definitely a rabbit
Yeah.
hole I would jump into.
I think
learn
I've
more
got
about.
evidence for them, you know, definitely grabbing, although I really can't defeat the mystery. Urine, it boggles imagination in every dimension. I got respect for it. But my urine
I'm about to
tub,
go soak my feet in some urine tonight.
Yeah.
you're gonna,
That'll
yeah, you
help,
gotta like,
for
it-
sure.
it would return the water to a more negative state when I got rid of the mucus and the sediment.
Mhm.
So I assume that's evidence for it trapping positively charged stuff in those crystals. Now, what is the medicinal effect of caged with natural process, positive, more or less junk for the most part? Junk is generally positively charged. You have a powerful homeopathic remedy for every single poison in there at the very
Yes.
least.
Yes.
At the very least. So it's definitely still amazing. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna reinstitute my discipline on UT.
Oh, that's exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's time. It's past time, and it's actually the perfect time, like we were talking about earlier, since I'm on all fruit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome
Yeah.
stuff. Dude,
Yeah,
I
I
have really enjoyed connecting with y'all, man.
Yep.
Really, absolutely, and thank you for breaking your knowledge down with me on UT. It's really given me some motivation, because I've always been half in, half out with the residues,
Uh-huh.
right? And I never got a clear answer till right now. That
A little
just
bit of a
makes-
both end, yeah. But
Yeah,
it's
because there's
it
there's
makes
just
it
some
even
people that
less.
just go, just drink it all,
Oh.
drink everything. It's all perfect. And I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. I don't think that's how that goes.
I would say it's an intuitive medicine. It's slightly different than saying just go for it.
Yes, I mean, there's still probably some good rule sets on how to leverage this thing for
Yeah,
its maximum
if you want to
potential.
throw up, stop.
Because
Yeah.
if I see yeast in my
Yeah.
urine, I don't want to drink yeast again.
I've heard that. I've heard the bacteria. It makes all
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. So it's important to
Sure.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay,
Yeah.
Matt. So I've always wondered what your triangle was about. What is this
Yeah.
about?
I was inspired by Devin, the Black Airbender, who's a wonderful UT and scalar energy advocate, among other things. And he wears it 24/7. And the company that sells them has been around since the 70s. It's called the Pyridine with a Y, Pyra Y DYNE. And they embed it with orgone energy. And to me, it gives it some kind of something on the order of quantum healing that I've seen advertised. Orgone is said to just transmit, or not transmit, but move energy for the most part, on top of being good energy. But there's really some profound energy clearing happening here.
Wow.
This is the best orgone I've ever seen. They must have given it some kind of frequency embedded. I mean, it is gold, multi-layered gold on top, just a thin thing. So the point is, you got to go somewhat fancy for this dorky of a hat to be worth it. And similar with Zencleanz, right? There's like a real meaning to the value. And in fact, Zencleanz is cheap. Yeah.
Zencleanz is cheap. When people say that's pricey, I go, it's really not.
It's
just
something like
not.
175 or something.
It's an investment in yourself. I mean,
It's just not expensive. I don't care what people say, because I know what people do with their money.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Cigarettes
you buy the
every
most
week.
useless
food,
crap.
Yeah. Especially
all
all
the
the
time.
unnecessary eating is such an expense. It's incredible. Oh my
You
gosh.
got here spending lots of money to harm yourself, and you think $250 or $600 is expensive? How many co-pays have you paid?
Or you want to have debilitating bowel disorders and freaking parasites running all over through your body and not have a good time when you turn 50, 55, 60 and maybe die when you're 62? Or is that better? Or do you want to spend $300? I don't know. Think about it.
Yeah, it's just not an expense. It is an investment for sure. But some people are spending on cars, we're spending on our health. Right? So you got a new whip, but we're getting a regenerated body.
I enjoy walks now.
Yeah, you're buying a depreciating vehicle, and we're investing into longevity, appreciating, not depreciating, appreciating, right? So the ROI is much higher. The return on investment is much better.
Yeah.
You know? Screw your car. This is the vehicle that you're should be most concerned with.
Yeah, that's the energy frequency.
If you need to go get a loan to get your health together, go get a loan and get your health together, because it's better to pay for that than to pay for your car note, to be honest.
If it keeps you from putting the investment.
Or like they say, pay now or pay later. Heart attack costs a lot.
It does cost your life. I almost left here on a heart attack. So yeah, it's legit. It's a real thing. And you're paying for, in Zencleanz, you're paying for genius.
Yeah.
You're paying for genius. You're not paying for to see ropes and stuff come out of your body. You're paying for a promise of healing. Because if anybody just sat down and they've never heard this, and they just crossed Zencleanz and just went through all the cleanses until they got better, they'd still win. They'd still win, And that's why I like introducing people to the product line. It's like, you're cleansing, but I want you to go on the website, right? See what's been written there.
Yeah.
Context.
Pictures.
Because we do a really good job at protecting our clients from marketing and things like that. So when we bring a client in, they sign an agreement with us, and we take care of ordering all their stuff, and everything is done in-house so that they're not bogged down and with different things and trying to figure out exchange rates or whatever. We take care of all that on their behalf. And if we make a mistake, we pay for our mistakes. But this way, that's like out of the way. And then we go, okay, so we got all that admin stuff out of the way, but you should really get on Zencleanz website and Facebook page and groups so that you can really get involved with us, right? I don't do that with any other product that I leverage with my clients.
Mhm.
Because
You're the only
Zen-
contact for their experience with the product for every other
Yes.
product that you talk about.
Yep,
Yeah.
except
Mhm.
Zencleanz. I want them in the family because I know if I leave the earth and I was their confidant, that if they stayed in that community and they needed help, they would win. They would get better. They would have a better opportunity. It's just about a responsibility to my clients that when you find something that is so good that you could send your mother to the site, you could send your dad there or whatever and go, I know this isn't your world, but if you got in a bad situation with your health, go here and do it. Just go and do it. Just go around the wheel until all your stuff stops happening. Okay? It could be that simple for someone, you know?
But when Ken talks about a wheel, Zencleanz has a wheel as a graphic to describe their process. And they generally follow the process of the order of the blood, they say. And that's actually something I'd like to ask you about before we go.
Yes.
The body has an order of the blood, quote unquote, and it's wise to detox in that order. What does this mean? Does this mean that the body generates blood in the intestines because we are cleansing them first? What is the explanation?
Are we generating blood in the gut?
Yeah, well, is it correct that they describe the process as following the order?
Well, yeah,
of the
they
blood?
describe the process that way.
Yeah. So
And so what I look at is, yes, that is I think the process is true. I think it rings true in terms of the order. However, it still has to come back to the functionality of those systems to understand per individual if you have that option, right? To say you're not strong enough for this part yet,
yep.
right?
Well, yeah,
Or-
and that's the order.
Yeah,
of
so
the
there's
systems.
orders to magnitude of things, but
Mhm.
if you like, you know, a lot of people want to come in and jump right into liver, okay?
Yeah, yeah, because I'm an
And
alcoholic, right? Not
whatever it
not,
is,
but
right?
Yeah,
You're like,
you know,
but we're
they
like, yeah,
hear
but if
that
we can't,
affects the liver.
but if we
Yeah,
can't release the stuff coming out the liver, we got a problem. So we really need
That's
to open up that
right.
back door and make sure that pathway is rock solid, you know,
yeah, very
moving
important.
at highway speed. But where I tend to get a little more concerned with the order of magnitude is based on a client's tissue health
Oh,
when it comes to liver and kidneys specifically,
Mhm.
right? Because sometimes they might need to go in an opposite order.
kidneys before the liver. Got it. But they would still do the mucoid first.
Yes,
Yeah.
mucoid, they might go to kidney first. And that's the only one that I tend to maneuver from time to time. And we just got the kidney one, but I've been doing my own kidney cleanses, so I can't wait to try this one. I'm about
Oh,
to try.
exciting!
I
Very
can't
exciting.
wait.
Yeah.
So it's just about working and understanding their tissues and their strength. Like, do you have strong
You're a
power?
fatigue
Kidney?
fixer. You're a chronic fatigue fixer. You know all about the adrenals. And
Well,
the
because
kidneys.
the kidneys and the adrenals are one. They're not
Yep.
separate. They are one,
Yep.
and they communicate with each other. If one's sick, the other's sick.
Cool.
So I sometimes tend to work more there first with some people, get their gut. That's why I don't dictate everyone does the liver right away. Gut has to happen, absolutely. And then depending on the client, I'll look at them, we'll assess whether they're strong enough to move into liver or if they should go work on kidneys first. But most of my clients need to do kidney first.
Because of adrenal fatigue and their specific.
Yeah, because we've got to get the adrenals firing right to signal to the liver appropriately to help them get out of their imbalances to, long story short, get the right action in the mitochondria, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah. So metabolic health and mineral balance in the kidneys.
Yeah, it also
especially.
starts, most of that starts right in the kidneys, in the adrenal gland.
Yeah, we know
Because-
the urine is a divine balancer of good things in the blood.
Well, the liver is responsible for creating the enzymes. So chronic fatigue people have this issue. They're hypo everything. Their body's underperforming. They're not releasing neurotransmitters and hormones in the proper flow state. So we've got adrenals that are maybe suffering in their signaling ability. Therefore, if they're suffering in signaling, they can't get the signal to the liver to make the enzymes necessary.
Wow, I love that.
For certain
I love that.
other minerals.
Yeah.
involved with that whole chain of events to get the oxygen into the mitochondria to create that jelly.
There's the logic of literally do it before not always, but before the liver. Sometimes you don't have liver enzymes unless you have functional kidneys.
Because you can't even request them.
That's incredible.
Right? So if the requesting signal's not coming, the liver's maybe not even able to make it because it can't see the signal. So that's the first thing to try to understand instead of just jumping right in, is let's start at the logical path of seeing that you're already exhibiting all these signs of hypoadrenia and kidney underperformance. Let's clean up that environment first to see if this signal will light up. Will the liver light up?
Yeah.
If it lights up, then great. Then we know and we can test if we need to see if that ceruloplasm is coming.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And if it's coming and it's coming in the right amounts, then we know we're safe to cleanse the liver now. We're safe because the signal's coming from the kidneys. Because we know the order of precedence in cleansing of the blood is liver's dominant, kidney secondary, and kidneys really doing more lymphatic, and what it's doing in the blood is really regulating electrolytes more so than anything else. So we got to make sure that just where's the entry point for the best success for each person is it's a worthy assessment. You know, it's just a simple little tweak. It's not a big deal, really.
And if you have fatigue issues, consider the kidney first. Cool.
Yeah, but I personally, you know, if you don't have that going on and everything's smooth, I like the liver because we know the liver controls the pH balance of the gut, you know. So we get that back aligned. We know we're going to move parasites out faster because the environment's changed. You know, they don't want that better alkaline environment. They don't want that. It's no point in them being there anymore. So they're like, okay, it's time to go. So they pack up shop and they leave.
It shows you how non-aggressive they are. They're really responding to an environment. They only grow under certain conditions, nothing personal.
Let me tell you about my understanding of parasites from my own personal experimentation as
It's
the gardener.
such a huge topic right now, and people are injuring themselves with antiparasitics right and left these days. So
if they're just going,
your experience is important. It's important. So please tell us.
So the most important thing is that we all have parasites always. We're never non-parasitic because God never delivers an incomplete system. It's always 100% complete. My confirmation came from being 10 years ago, I was gardening. I just moved here to the Carolinas and I started a brand new garden. It was my first big garden. My first garden was on my high-rise condo deck in Crystal City, Virginia, right? So I did an experiment. And what I did was I took some scraps and stuff from different fruits and plants I was removing from the garden, right? They had some fruits on them. I was like, oh, I want to do this experiment. I threw them in a bucket. First, I washed them, then threw them in a bucket, and I covered it, and I just left it outside for a month. When I came back to the closed, sealed 5-gallon bucket, pickle bucket, you know how tight those lids are on pickle buckets? You got to rip them things off. So super tight. It was full of bugs.
It's like spontaneous generation.
Just full of bugs. When we die, we don't have to wait for bugs to start decomposing us. We have our own.
Oh my God.
Everything already has its own.
So you're telling me a graveyard looks well cleaned?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. We come with our own system, our own onboard decaying agents.
I bet they disappear just as fast when they're no longer needed too.
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone. And I've never seen these type of bugs ever.
Wow.
What do you mean?
When I looked, I was like, I've never seen these type of bugs ever, like never in my garden, anywhere. I don't even know what kind of bugs these are, but they were present.
That's incredible.
So that means they were on board the plants. They were inside and already there in egg form and were activated by the environmental condition.
Your crop is as good of a crop as I would ever want to get out of myself. I know it for sure. My own activity. So I have to be cool with that.
No doubt.
I have no options. I'm already doing worse than that, at grocery store. Come on now.
So we already have our onboard system of opportunity there. So it's not like we should have this evil intent around them.
But
right?
you use turpentine. You got
God,
aggressive.
I love turpentine.
You
I
got
love
aggressive.
it.
It's a solvent. And another solvent in my life is Zencleanz. A solvent is something that breaks bonds.
That's
A
right.
solvent is an acid, and an acid breaks bonds with hydrogen. So even it's eating away with the enzyme, it's still breaking stuff. So it's like very similar in terms of the deconstipating effects. It's just not an enzyme formula. And it's gonna clean up nerve tissue specific.
Yes.
It seems to me, and it's like a deconstipator of like a layer of gunk in the blood vessels.
Mhm.
And it's not going to be terribly well supported because it's just dumping that toxicity via like a acid wash almost, but it's turpentine.
It works, man. It's just so gentle and it's sweet.
It's gentle for people who are somewhat clean, but there's a lot of people who get a lot of trouble with turpentine, Ken, and that's sort of where
Well,
quick
especially if
advice.
they don't, especially if they don't use the step up protocol,
Yeah,
and they
Yeah.
jump right into the sugar. It's just that's too aggressive. You really need to do a drop by drop.
yeah, drop by drop. Yeah,
You need to go drop by drop with turpentine.
on the belly button, even not even internally.
I
Mhm.
tried
find
the
that
belly.
goes
I
right
tried
in.
the belly button.
Yeah, what do you think?
After you mentioned it, and I
Oh, cool.
I actually felt like I was getting a little more movement.
Hey,
I decided to do both. I said, so I'm going to add it. I just basically took my dosages and I split them up, and I was taking half internally and half in my belly button. And I prefer to do it that way, half and
Cool.
half. Yeah,
cool, straight.
I feel like you're just getting multiple vantage points of opportunity.
I
you
think
know?
the nerve system, that's what Brother Sage,
Is that what he
therapy
preaches?
advocate,
Yes.
because there's a whole bunch of nerves behind the umbilical cord. Of course, it's where we get life from when we're in the utero, in large part, besides drinking our own waters. And yeah, there's going to be something. I mean, it's either the nervous system or it delivers it deep because there's already a system in place there in
But
perpetuity.
I'm a solvent lover, man. I'm a DMSO guy, and
You are. I was sort of sure about that. Yeah, use
Yeah.
it for chelation, and you feel like people can use it.
I use it. I use it a lot for topical herbal treatments.
Yeah. Get them deeper, right?
Just sprinkle the herbs in certain spots on their body and use the DMSO on top just to push it in. Or I've even had people do that with liver herbs, right? To just get them in, because some people are just so broken inside. I love using the skin because you're getting direct access,
Right.
So if we can move through the skin, we move through the skin because everything inside's broken, but we can heal you through the skin. We can avoid what's broken and go around the problem until we heal it, right?
When you say direct access, everybody's liver's hurting. We've talked about it enough today. What happens whenever they take something internally, the liver takes it for itself. And topical steroid use would get so much more effectiveness. Like, I'm just thinking about how we're growing muscles with urine. It's amazing. Topical.
Dude, Nicholas, I'm gonna get swole.
It's you like these defined muscles, and it's not just me, because I'm doing it with 2 other people too, and I'm watching their bodies just like become ripped. It's freaking
so exciting. That's exciting. That's exciting. I can't wait. Look, and this is another thing about our world. It's fun.
It is.
It's fun.
It's fun on this side of the playing field, man, because once you recognize, if you don't start gaming this, you're never going to make it. You can't be so serious about this all the way through. You got to play with this a little bit. Because the journey's way longer than most people ever want to give credit for. All the layers and the depthness that we need to go to, and then just live that way, right? Living in that manner is so honoring of ourselves and turning our backs on everything that's trying to keep us in low frequency. I think it's an amazing way to live life. That's why I say never look at cleansing as a one-stop opportunity. True cleansing is only lifelong. It's the only way to look at it.
And you're having a joy to being it that way.
Constant journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't stop it because
Yeah.
Because the environment's not going to stop. The powers
Yeah,
that be aren't going to
exactly.
stop doing what they're trying to do. And so we have to remain vigilant and disciplined to do this level of protection and honoring ourselves as much as possible. It does get easier. It does get easier. And then you can laugh and have fun with it and experiment like we're all talking about right now, you know. But in the beginning, most people are just taking it too serious, and it's okay because it's a little scary. But at some point, you got to recognize you have the power and you're in control and you can have fun with this. And when you start to have fun with it, you heal faster. You heal so much faster.
Yeah.
And then you start to realize there's more potential, right?
Yeah.
Like this call today, man, it's like next week I'm rubbing it on, man. It's happening, right? It's going to be part of the muscle building program.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been so good, Ken.
I've had a
Thank
blast.
you.
Thanks for letting me spend this time with you guys. I know it was a long talk. Take from it whatever you want, you know.
It's all good.
I
You
appreciate
answered
you
so
guys
many
for
questions
being
today.
I appreciate you
Yes.
guys for being warriors in this world. Thank you for remaining and moving forward and showing great examples by moving and writing and doing what you guys are doing and trying to keep people connected. We are not in the majority here. You know, we are a special operations unit
Mm,
because
wow.
special operation units have extremely smart, dedicated people that can do more with less and can help shift dynamics, right? We're shifting dynamics within people and within an institution. And that takes a certain caliber of people to not get deaded. Don't become a deaded person, an unalived person. We don't have to fight a system. We only have to be pro our way.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah.
be pro our way. We don't have to fight a system. Fighting a
No.
system would get you murdered. They just killed my doctor friend from Charlotte last month, Dr. Bakar. You guys ever heard of him?
Sounds familiar, yeah.
He was a special forces doctor, DO, right here in Charlotte. And he was one of the dozen that were doing the anti-COVID campaign over YouTube and all the other stuff. It was him and 11 other doctors. They poisoned Dr. Bakar just about a month and a half ago.
It's not Bhutar. That's different.
No, it's Bhutar.
You know, brother, I think he died from ivermectin, which I know a lot of people would
say.
Did
he go on ivermectin?
Well, he was promoting it. And, you know, he looked sick. He looked sick and bad 6 months ago. He was hallucinating.
Yeah, Bhutar, yes.
And you know, ivermectin can make you very sure of yourself and give people euphoric experiences. And he was starting to speak very euphorically and religiously while looking very sick 6 months ago.
That's not him. That's not him.
Dr. Batar?
No. I'm saying that's not his personality, though.
Yeah, it's not his personality. He was cool in 2020.
Yeah, because 4 years ago I met him.
Yeah.
Because I was working with I had never known about him.
Yeah.
And I called to speak with him because I was working with my first leukemia, lymphoma client, right?
Oh, God.
And so I was working with my first client with that. And she goes, I saw this doctor online. What do you think about him? Or blah, blah, blah. So I called him up and we spoke for about 30 minutes, you know? And I'm like, he sounded much like me.
Yes.
Because we have a kind of a way of talking in the special forces way. And I was like, we have
you do.
Very similar, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, dude, we're like almost identical. So we went through very similar training. We have similar mindsets. We understand why all of our soldiers are broken when they come back from all the vaccinations we get pumped with is really heavy. It's a really heavy schedule when you're traveling all over the world.
Talk about another heavy thing. The ivermectin psyop is thick. Really honorable.
I know, and I've been doing everything I can. I've been doing everything I can. Because before I even knew what you told me, or what you taught me, rather, not told me, but taught me.
I learned it from somebody. Yeah.
Was I had a client come to me and she's like, hey, you know, I had a little cough or cold where I think I might be getting COVID. And I'm like, stop, please stop. Please stop. You're not catching that. And she's like, what about ivermectin? And I go, why would you take ivermectin? And she was like, well, I heard it, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I go, are you sure you have any parasites? Right? And she was like, well, why would I use it for parasites? I want it for COVID. It's an anti-parasitic.
Oh, they're saying it's for cancer now, man. They're leaning so
Exactly.
heavy into it.
It's for
ridiculous.
everything.
Yeah.
It's for everything because what?
Yeah,
Who's
with
is it made by
Gates funded
Pfizer?
studies. With
Is it
Gates,
made by Pfizer?
Made by Pfizer. They still make money even though it's off patent.
Of
and
course.
Gates is funding most of the research that has been done, which
All
is
the
most
BS.
of the
This is just-
epidemiology.
This is
And
this
yes,
is the
we do have
answer.
negative outcomes. So on my website, we got a list of negative outcomes that are published. And then we've got Gates being connected to a major funding operation for it in Africa for decades. So it's like you trust Bill Gates, you trust a pharma. It's an antibiotic, neurotoxic, GABA-toxic, psychotropic. GABA-toxic, which is makes people numb and dumb and paranoid and but more so overconfident. And so they don't listen to anybody. So I'm like, buddy, you're dying from ivermectin, and they won't believe you because that's part of the effect.
Wow.
It's sick.
That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. That's
so thanks for letting me. There's my energy on it. But
Dude,
Dr. Batard died, and he was a good one.
He was
so
a
everybody
good one,
thinks he
dude.
died, and now everybody's more paranoid. Brother, we're fine. You know, the way we're talking, you know, the problem is that the truths we're talking about are hard to swallow. So the cabal just get in their arrogance, thinks that we don't matter. And I refuse to be paranoid. I've seen it time and time again.
No, so I had a potential new client who's looking to enroll next week talk to me today, and she was like, you know, I think my phone is tapped and blah 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 blah. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. I'm gonna say what I need to say to you, right? There's an advantage to never. I'm never going to have a brick and mortar establishment. Never. I will be on the planet doing and helping people who can get the clue. We don't have to say everything so loudly. We attract way more by not yelling and screaming and pointing fingers.
Yeah, really.
At the, you know, supposed opposition.
Yep.
They're not my opposition. They're just someone I don't want to associate with.
That's right.
They have nothing to offer me.
If you're saying that they're the opposition, you're making yourself the loyal opposition to that.
Exactly. Right.
and you're legitimizing their point of view.
Just
make them obsolete.
No, we're not doing that.
Terrence
we're not
McKenna
running.
talked about it. It's a very profound idea. It's very important.
So yeah, the ivermectin thing was I said, listen, you don't want that in your body. What? Nope. I said, if you want an antiparasitic, let me help you with an antiparasitic. And she was like, oh. I said, yeah, because there's so many that were never invented by Pfizer. There's so many antiparasitics not invented by Pfizer. Are we now saying that COVID is a parasite? Well, they didn't say that. Then why would you use an antiparasitic? And she goes, I don't know. And I said, you know what else you don't know? She goes, what? You don't know that they don't know.
Right. They're just saying
stop listening to these people.
They're saying it fixes everything in creation, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah. But thank you, brother, and thanks, Nicholas, Crystal. Thank you guys. It's been such great time catching up with you. And where did you say you guys living again? What part of Mexico?
Chiapas.
Chiapas?
Chiapas. Yeah.
And how long have you been there now?
4 months here.
Really? Beautiful, huh?
It is. Yeah, it's in the mountains, like 7,200 feet elevation.
Oh, you don't have to worry about being wiped out. That's great.
Yeah.
No floods. That's awesome. All right, guys, I'm gonna get going. But thanks again. Thanks again for inviting me.
Yeah, before you go, can you share like your contacts, links, anything you want for people to reach out to you?
Yes.
Should I just say them out loud?
Yeah,
and then we'll get it in the
Sure. And I can text this over to Matt if you guys need it. So my Facebook page is really, I think, the best place to find me. And I'm Ken Newbill. I think I'm the only one that looks like this, at least, on Facebook. You can find me under Newbill Health on most social channels. If you just look for Newbill Health, you'll find me there. Those are the best ways to contact me. And everywhere you go, there's a message button or a book button. So if you want to talk to me, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to connect and share reality with whoever it is that's trying to make proper moves for themselves and want to do it their way, right? We have no dogma here. There's no dogma in my practice, right? At the end of the day, it's always about what can we actually do? If you can't do it or won't do it, then it's not going to work.
Oh, I love
So
that.
there's no point in trying to force any modality that someone is not aligned with when there are so many options. There's just too many options to help somebody heal. But if they have a hang up with a pill or a powder or a tincture or whatever, there's too many ways. And that's what I study. I study so many different opportunities to let my clients know there is a way, there is a path. You know, for some people, it's just frequency therapy for a while to help them get better. For others, it's other things. So we don't have to get wrapped up in fighting over what to eat and all those things. We can find out what works specifically best for you based on where you are right now, and move you gently to where you want to go and what you envision to be. That's the true walk in wellness, without being not having your hand forced, not feeling like you'll never make it through something, only thinking that you're going to fail. My job is to empower you through the process so that you get lots of victories. You know, it's all about little victories, frequent victories, constantly winning, and me showing you what your wins are because you may not know what they are, right? So in the eye, sometimes in the eye of the beholder, while you're in the storm, you can't recognize that you're already at the peak of the mountain. You just didn't know it was cloudy, right? You can't see it because there's clouds, but I can see it. And so I help them see it one by one to help keep them engaged and encouraged throughout the entire experience. And for those that I coach, that's just a whole different ball of opportunity. I'm only talking about the people I consult with. So if we coach, take that and multiply that factor by 10.
Wow, good.
Because we're going everywhere in your life. We're going to dig deep. We're going to look, when you start expressing through your liver cleanse, we're going to talk about it. We're going to dig deeper into what traumas are trying to be released and try to clear you. All right. Yeah. So that you don't go back and make those same mistakes again. We're going to put you on things like MasterPeace or, the niacin flush capsules. What are you calling that now?
Metabolic magic.
I love this.
Yeah,
metabolic magic is so pretty. It's so pretty the way that you've put this together, Matt. I can't wait to get mine. I need to order mine tomorrow.
Yeah, we're all on the shoulders of giants, but we're at the time in history where knowledge is coming together in a really profound way.
It really is. It's a whole different way of bringing it back together. And it's phenomenal because we're all pieces of it. We're all pieces of this information sharing paradigm. We're able to see the fibers of the mind connecting. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I love this. I've been looking forward to this ever since Matt was like, you want to do this? I'm like, oh yeah. I love talking about our stuff and what we do and how we help people and being personable. Right? We are human beings experiencing much of what you've experienced. Nobody here has not been in pain. Everybody here has suffered. Some of us are still suffering in some way and trying to move ourselves away from that and shift away from that. So no one on this call and a lot of people associated with Zencleanz overall, listen, these people are really out here doing valuable work and really trying to move in a way that is unique and fresh and helpful and loving and caring, and showing it through their action, right? You guys didn't have to invite me here for any reason. You didn't have to do that. So I appreciate the connection and the sharing in the community and the growth that we're all experiencing together. It's a very important part of what we are historically bringing together. This will be a monumental thing we'll be part of. When you guys are in your 80s and 90s, you'll be talking to these 50-year-olds talking about, we saved your ass.
And we're going to be showing them this video. We're going to be showing them this video right here, man. I love today.
We help
save us. Jam-packed information. Like this is vital stuff. Ken, please tell us your referral code for the audience.
Yes, that too.
Oh my God. It's Newbill Health. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Much love to you.
Thank you.
All right. See you later.
All right. Peace, my people.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.